It looked like the perfect family. Warm smiles, moral lessons. A peaceful little town where everything felt safe. But here's the question. What if the real story behind Little House on the Prairie was far more complicated than anything you saw on screen? Because sometimes, the most wholesome worlds hide the most human truths. On camera, Melissa Gilbert played Laura, full of innocence and heart. Off camera, she was still just a kid trying to understand a very adult world. Imagine being 15, filming your first romantic scene, with someone much older, nervous, unsure. That wasn't acting, that was real discomfort, and it took someone stepping in to protect her before things felt safe again. But not everything behind the scenes was heavy. The rivalry between Laura and Nellie? Completely fake. In real life, our Gilbert and Allison Arngrim were inseparable. Sleepovers, laughing, playing pranks. That kind of friendship doesn't come easy, especially in an environment where everyone is competing for attention. Yet somehow, they made it work. And then there was Michael Landon. To millions, he was Pa, strong, kind, unshakable. But behind that image, things weren't always so simple. He carried the weight of leadership on set, directing over 90 episodes, guiding young actors, keeping everything together. But pressure has a way of showing up quietly. Reports of heavy drinking, personal struggles, and difficult choices followed him off-screen. And one decision changed everything. When Landon left his wife for someone he met on set, it didn't just affect his personal life, it shook the people who looked up to him, especially Melissa. For her, he wasn't just a co-star, he was a father figure. And suddenly, that image cracked. Have you ever had someone you trusted deeply disappoint you? That kind of moment stays with you. Even among the cast, not everything was friendly. The bond between Laura and Mary felt real on screen, but behind the scenes, tension lingered for years. Two young girls growing up under pressure, forced to work side by side for 9 years. Sometimes closeness turns into distance. And yet, despite all this, the show did something rare. It talked about things others avoided. Addiction, loss, disability, pain. At a time when television preferred to stay comfortable, this show leaned into reality. Maybe that's why it lasted. Because beneath the polished surface, it understood struggle. And maybe that's the real lesson here. On nothing you see is ever the full picture. Not on TV, not in life. The world of Walnut Grove felt simple. But the people creating it were dealing with the same things you and I face: pressure, heartbreak, mistakes, growth. So when you remember that show, don't just think about the perfect family on screen. Think about the imperfect humans behind it. Because in the end, that's what made it feel real.